Hey everybody, welcome to You Have to Watch This Podcast, Game of Thrones edition. I'm Alan.
And I'm Devon.
And we're going to try to get this one done and out before 2 days before the next episode. So today we're talking about The Last of the Starks,
the
4th out of 6 episodes in this final season. So we're
booking through this.
We are. And you can kind of tell, like, now that the Night King's gone and his army's dead, like, it's kind of just like, okay, now we gotta go kill Cersei.
Yeah, we gotta go do this thing now.
Yeah. So okay,
can I say something about my stance on last episode, because it's changed in the last week?
Okay, go for it.
I have had my mind changed. I am now all on board with the last episode. Mostly because I was pissy that last episode, the things I thought would happen didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And I told somebody that, and I was like, yeah, all this shit was set up and none of it happened. And the person goes, so it subverted your expectations like it's been doing since the beginning? And I go, son of a bitch, I can't hate it now. So I'm back on board.
Yeah, the episode grew on me a little bit too. I rewatched it before this one. I watched the tail end of it when it was on HBO. Yeah, I watched it on my phone so I could actually see what was going on.
Aww.
It's bad that the color on my phone looked better at full brightness than it did on my TV.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Do you have like a really bad TV? Like, is it like
it's
one
old.
Of those old like cathode ray tubes that like you got to adjust shit?
It's got bunny ears, antennas.
Pretty old.
No, it's pretty old. It's going on 7 years old, but it's still HD. It's just It's seen better days.
Yeah,
but I was so tempted to go buy a new TV after last week's episode.
Just because of Game of Thrones.
Yes, because why not? Like, I might get one for the finale. Who knows? No, like my stance has changed a little bit too. Like, it's not as bad as I wanted, as I thought it was. It's grown on me. Like I said, especially rewatching like those major deaths at the end with Jorah and Theon, definitely hit home a little bit harder the second time. Like, just knowing, okay, yeah, this is what happens.
Yeah,
and then
I can get behind that.
And then in this episode, everything picks up right after that. So
yeah, it takes place literal hours after the last episode. Like, it opens with them burning the bodies from last episode.
Yeah. And Jon, what did you think of Jon's speech? Because I have feelings on it.
You know what? I don't have as many feelings. I think that I think he seemed very Ned Stark in a lot of this episode for a lot of reasons. And I think that was kind of kicking it all off. It sounds like something Ned would have done. Yeah.
I think if after him not really doing anything in the last episode, and then he like steps up and like, thank you everyone for dying, for like thanking the dead. It's like, okay, but you didn't do anything last time. Like, you kind of just ran around with a sword.
I mean, it's pretty accurate though.
Kind of irritated by that.
But everyone looks to him as a leader. He has to say something Captain America speech.
Yes, exactly. And maybe that's what I was getting from it. Like, it was a little too spot on the nose for what but I feel like his voice was just a little bit deeper than it is usually, and I think that's what really got me.
He's just been talking to like what's the guy with the orange beard?
Giantsbane?
I forget.
Tormund?
Yeah, he's been talking to him for a while, and he's just like is feeling almost inadequate, so he's pulling the Chris Pratt thing, and he's trying to make his voice a little deeper to sound manlier. It has to be that.
Are you mocking me? No, I'm not mocking you.
It's exactly it. That's it. He's just a little insecure today, and that's all right. Everyone has those days.
And there were a lot of weird stares going on at that funeral. Like, everyone's just kind of like eyeing each other up.
They were like awkwardly checking in. They're like,
Yeah.
I was doing weird eyes for those of you that can't see this audio only podcast.
I appreciated it. But now
I'm happy you did.
No one else will know what I got to see.
Damn.
Okay, so after the funeral, because they burn all the bodies so the Night King can't bring him back to life, even though he's already dead.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do? They can't go in the crypts.
My question is, what do they do with the rest of the bodies? Like, it looked like that was just their forces. What did they do with the bodies of the dead? Like the army of the dead.
Didn't they all like disappear and like shatter into ice and shit?
Did they all shatter in the ice?
I think it's supposed to be assumed because like the dragon did and the Night King did. And like I guess technically there's nothing real different from the Night King than like the rest of his lackeys, I think. Okay. Or no, because friggin' main character lady that was the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was like a body.
Yeah.
There goes my theory. I don't know. Maybe they just threw him in a pile or something.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Who knows?
All right. So then after the funeral comes the party. And it's an awkward party at first.
Yeah, but I kind of loved it.
I loved how awkward it was. Like it was just dead silent. Everyone eating and drinking. And then Gendry got up to either go find Arya or go take a piss. I'm not sure which.
He had to go to the bathroom. Let's be honest. He took a huge dump.
And then all of a sudden he becomes a Sir and a Baratheon.
Which, like, that's awesome. Like, I like that so much for his character. I'm so happy.
I would be a lot more happier if Daenerys didn't just do it as a strategy. Like if she actually wanted to do that. But it felt like it was just oh, hey, here's a strategic move that I can do that will help me in the long run.
I think that we're not supposed to be completely on Daenerys's boat this episode. And I think that was the start of it. Because this is a character we all kind of love. And she starts making good things happen to him for very disingenuous reasons. And that's grating. Like, I think you're supposed to not love that.
Yeah. But I do like that she, as strong as her reasoning is for it, it's also to kind of lighten the mood of everyone there. Because
when it does immediately, it just switches.
Like it goes from like it's like that episode of Rick and Morty where they come back into the car and are just like freaking out, like what just happened. And then
that's exactly it.
And
everyone, what the fuck?
And then it's just like pass the wine and everyone's drinking and having a good time.
But and I could have watched everyone drink and have a good time for a longer time than they let you see that. Like the friggin' Tyrion and Jaime and Brienne drinking game. Like I would have watched 2 hours of that and would have been very happy.
I feel like they could have just done a whole nother episode. So they did the episode before the battle where everyone's drinking and contemplating death. They do the battle and they do one where it's everyone, oh shit, we almost died. Like, and just playing that drinking game.
And just dealing with
time. There's a lot going on in that scene. Like a lot of little reunions that we had before and some that we hadn't seen yet this season.
Yeah.
The biggest one to me that jumped out was the Hound and Sansa.
Yes, that was interesting.
Because I forgot about him trying to rescue her from King's Landing.
Yeah, I forgot about that too until he brought it up. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that he acknowledged that if you had gone with me, none of that shit would have happened to you. Like Littlefinger, Ramsay, none of it would happen. She's like, well, if that hadn't happened, I would still be that little bird who I was back then. I
mean, and she's right. And this is something that I think is interesting is Sansa's personal growth in all of this.
Yeah.
Where she's not like the obnoxious little girl that she used to be. She's a very strong, very smart person. I don't know if I exactly love that abuse and like utter like just depravity equals intelligence and prowess that they're setting up with her character. But I do like that she's stronger and smarter now.
Yes, I do too. We need to decide at the end of this episode whose side we're on. Like we'll do this down.
I'm clear. Dude, there is one horse in this race, and I will do anything he says until the day I die. I am on, and we will get to that later, or we can talk about it now. It's up to you.
Let's go ahead and talk about it now.
Fucking, I'm Team Varys, 100%. Anything out of that guy's mouth is the truth. Give me whatever Varys wants.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Varys, like from like last season, was even like we need to keep her on a leash, like rein her in a little bit with Daenerys, and then this episode, like he's watching her closely at this party, like he's concerned about her,
and she gets up to leave and he gets up to leave, and it's like, all right, you do this, man.
Yeah. And we'll get in more to what he does later on.
Yeah, but I'm curious about what I thought was interesting what was going on in her mind, because she saw all of these little reunions happen, and it really hit home that like she doesn't have anything here, especially now that the Dothraki are gone. Like, what does she have here?
Yeah. Well, is it all the Dothraki or is it half?
I think it's half. I think you're right. I think it's half. And then like most of Grey Worm's men are gone too, and like all she had was out on that field with her later that we'll talk about.
Yeah. And like I think it also hits home that Jorah's gone. Like I think that's the biggest thing that I was picking up from that. Like she's all alone. Her confidant is gone. Like the one who's been with her from the beginning is gone.
Yeah.
So there's one scene that bugged me a little bit because they didn't address it.
Tell me.
So Tormund is talking about how Jon died and came back to life. And Dany just sits there and listens to it. As far as we know, Jon hasn't told her about him dying, right? Or does she know? I guess
that's a good point. Unless it was like post-sex talk and he was like, how is it to have sex with a dead man? And she's like, weird.
As I'm saying it, I guess after he comes back and they're on the boat and he's like all injured and cut up and shirtless, she does see his scars and stuff. So I guess maybe
he has to like explain it.
So maybe she knows what happened. Like, because I think Sir Davos says something about taking a knife to the heart and then she sees those scars. So,
oh, right.
So maybe it's just something that she's just not questioning, but I would question the shit out of that without getting like a direct answer. Like what actually happened to you? Like, I
would too. Yeah. Unless you're just like, whatever, I don't really give a shit what happened to this guy.
But instead it's like, no, you need to not tell anyone who you really are.
She got full badass at the end of that though. When he was like, I don't see a way around this. She goes, I told you. I was like, oh, right. I forgot Targaryens are supposed to be all hot-headed and angry about everything.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We can find a way to make this work. She's like, I just told you the way to make this work.
Yeah.
And then she drops the mic and leaves.
Oh, like, and she like gives him like it's not even an ultimatum she gives him. She like commands him. She's like, you do this thing.
Yeah. Okay, so Gendry leaves the party and goes to find Arya and gets down on one knee because I guess that's the way in Westeros. We've never seen an actual proposal on this show.
No, but we did, and it was sweet.
Yeah, and then she's like, nope, not a lady, not going to happen.
Here's the thing. I totally like that, though. I like that she's not all of a sudden like, oh, well, I had sex once, so my whole character's changed. I like that she's like, look, you're going to be awesome. I respect you a lot. I got other shit to do.
And I think there's part of her that wants to say yes, like from the look in her eye. Like I think part of her wants to be able to say yes, but she knows she can't.
I think you're exactly right. So, she was made to be something else.
Yeah. And she definitely hasn't, we haven't seen the last of her purpose yet. But I like that she's riding south with the Hound. Like I love
and that's and I love that the Hound, you know what he's doing. Like you know where he's going, you know who he's gonna go kill. Where is she going? Do you have ideas?
Cersei's on her list.
Cersei is on her list. I'll bet you that's it.
And she has to kill somebody with green eyes. So
they can't do that trick again, though. Like they can't be like.
I think they did it once, and I think that's enough. Like I think now that it's there, like she knows she has to go kill Cersei.
I agree, but I think that if basically same scene happens again. And Arya just comes in, she's like, "Bam, you're dead now." Like, I think I would be mad.
I don't think it'll be that simple.
It can't be. But she's not the only character who rode south to go kill Cersei this episode, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself.
Okay. Yeah. So Jaime, Tyrion, Pod, and Brienne are playing the drinking game.
This is my favorite part.
And what was your favorite part about it?
Oh God. Just all of it. Like I think I realized I like these characters so much. I just want to see them being friends and being normal people.
Yeah.
Like I think putting them in danger stresses me out. I want to see these people having a good fucking time. And they were having a good time until Tyrion made it weird.
Yep. Tyrion definitely made it weird. And
I like a Pod drank though. Tyrion made it weird and Pod drank.
I mean, what else do you do when Tyrion makes it weird?
It's true though.
So, yeah, Jaime and Brienne do go have sex. Like,
and that made me so happy. That's
it
what I
made
wanted.
me happy too. I told my wife about it because she was like doing other stuff while I was watching. It's like, hey, Jaime and Brienne just had sex. She's like, I don't care. She deserves better.
Oh, I mean, she deserves better, but I think
there's such a connection there.
Yes.
And they've been building to it. And I think that was a tiny little bit of fan service, but also a lot of character development for him.
I agree. And do you think, okay, while it was happening or while like that part of it was going on screen, I went, oh God, please don't let this be the end of her story arc though, because I'd be really sad if her character basically got reduced to all you need's a dick. Because I don't love that.
Yeah, I don't love that either. It's interesting that with everyone going south, she stays behind in the north.
I mean, it fits a little bit because she's supposed to protect the Stark girls. And that's like what they kept saying. And I think that's what you're supposed to take away from it.
It makes me think that there's another threat for the north coming.
I'm okay with that.
Whether it be another Night King or Cersei.
Or Bran just going apeshit on everyone.
With his wheelchair.
With his wheel, which is 210 years old. We learned out about this episode.
He's just like the coach from Dodgeball.
Yes, exactly.
He's just throwing wrenches at people.
I'm all right with it. That'll be a cool way to end it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're talking about this part yet, but I'm going to do it. Since we're talking about Brienne, when Jaime left, that was a good fucking scene, and it almost made me cry.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that scene, but she was really like begging him not to go and trying to convince him that he doesn't need to go.
Right.
What is your interpretation of him going? Do you think he's going to defend Cersei or?
Oh, he's going to go kill her. I loved his speech. I mean, he basically summed up all of his character. Is it everything that he's done for her? She is a super hateful person, and he is just as hateful. And I think now that he's been with Brienne, which is, I think, the first person he's been with that wasn't Cersei in this series, right?
As far as we know, yes.
So I think he's now like, oh my God, I really fucked up for a long time. I'm really mad at her for making me do all of these really terrible things. I'm going to go kill her. That's how I took it.
Okay. I think just on the surface level, I took it as him going to defend her, but that makes more sense that if he's not.
I think I would lose my shit if he went to defend her. I mean, yeah. I guess I would get it, but like as he was like, well, I had sex with Brienne. Nah, this isn't who I love. I love her.
Also, if you like just look at it, the way I think the way Brienne sees it is he is going to defend her.
Yeah.
Like I think looking at it from her eyes, like that's what it seems like he's going to do. He's going to defend his sister.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need defending. Like there's no defending that.
No, not at all.
Okay. So we talked about Jon and Dany. We talked about. Yep. Okay. The episode is called The Last of the Starks.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all the Starks gathered in the Godswood at one point.
It's a good scene.
Talking. That was a good scene. I wish that Jon hadn't just been like to Bran, tell them, and then it cut away. Like I wanted to see their direct reactions to the news.
I agree. We have a mutual friend on Facebook that I rail against sometimes who hated this scene and called Jon a trash boy. And I'm going to get real mad for a second. So his complaints about the scene were that A, Jon said something in the first place, and B, that Jon made Bran say it. I'm going to indirectly answer his questions because I think I like the way he handled it. A, I think you had to tell Sansa and Arya. I think there's no way around that. I think that was inevitable. Jon was right. I understand that the girl you're currently having sex with doesn't want you to do this thing, but it's too big to not tell anyone. Yeah. And B, I think that Bran saying it and not Jon saying it adds more legitimacy to it because Arya and Sansa know what he's about. I think this was the only way you could have handled it.
Yeah, I agree that Bran is probably the best person to tell them.
Did John fuck up telling him though? What do you think?
He definitely fucked things up with Daenerys. Like it's going to be it'll be curious to see what happens now, because I think the next episode, everyone's going to know by the end of the show. Everyone will know.
I mean, Varys said it's information at this point. It's not a secret.
Yeah, it's not a secret. I think it's just a matter of time before Tyrion lets Dany know that he knows. So I think it was, if I think there's little chance of him getting together with Dany at the end of this now.
Yeah, and I also love that they addressed the ending that I thought was going to happen, and they were like, "What if they're married and they're both in charge?" And everyone just collectively went, "That's stupid," which I really liked because I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, I mean it is stupid, and it's too much of a happy ending. The show is not going to have a happy ending. Exactly.
So we did get a little bit of Sansa's reaction to it, though, when she had the conversation with Tyrion on the battlement armament, whatever, the
on the wall
platform.
Yeah.
On the wall. Yeah. And her reaction was what I thought. Is she went, "Oh my God, this is such a better alternative. I like this more."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not surprised that she told Tyrion. I think Endgame might be her and Tyrion getting together now. Like,
really?
I'm really, like, if you go back and watch that episode and see them in the crypt and just the way they look at each other in this episode, I can see that I can maybe see them getting together at the end of this.
I would be so happy if that happened. Oh my God, because he'd treat her so well, and she would treat him well, and great. I want that now.
Okay, so we missed something.
What did we miss?
Bronn of Blackwater came in with
the bow, and the second that bow entered the room, I heard what you said and went, "Oh, Tyrion's dead."
Yeah.
So you might have artificially raised the stakes for me.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that was such a tense scene for me.
Yeah, I was worried that one of them was going to die. So before the episode, I messaged you and I messaged other friends that watch Game of Thrones that there was a major leak going around on the internet of a death. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know how it happened. I didn't know when it happened. I just knew that people died in this episode. Right. Or someone died in this episode. As soon as he walked in, I was like, "Oh shit, this could be it." So I think that raised the stakes for me. Like, that makes sense. Knowing that somebody was going to die. And then he shot the bow at behind Jaime's head.
Yeah.
I really like that scene. My only issue with it was it felt rushed.
Yes. He was like, "Well, I'm supposed to kill you. I need this thing." "Well, we'll do better." "Okay, you do better." "All right, well, I'm gone forever now. Bye."
Yeah, I'm gone until this is all over, and then you can give me High Garden.
Yeah, I mean, I understand him not wanting to have any real irons in the fire here except for something to gain and nothing to lose. But that was so quick changing his mind.
I don't think he was ever actually set on killing either of them. I think it was you told me before, what if they ever offer for you to kill me, I'll double the price. I think that was just him negotiating.
I think you're right.
He went the Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan route of aggressive negotiations.
I'm okay with that.
Shit, no, that was episode 2, wasn't it? Damn,
aggressive negotiations. I thought that was episode 1.
No, it's episode 2. Because Padme says it to Anakin in the battle on Geonosis. We're as far away from Game of Thrones as we can get.
It's close enough. But no, I get that, and I still liked that scene. I think it's an interesting way. I think it's an interesting way to tie up that plot thread, without people wondering what the hell he's doing. Because I get the sense that the show is kind of okay, we don't need this character for a while. I understand we set him up. Let's push him off to the side because we have other shit to tell you.
And he just backs off into the shadows and just is gone for now until the finale. We'll see him again.
Oh, absolutely will.
Okay, so the big plan is Daenerys goes south to Dragonstone with the dragons, the Unsullied, and Tyrion.
Yeah.
To do something. Get the ships.
Yeah, get the ships. I think just set up base. I think they just need something closer than Winterfell to set up at.
Yeah. And then Jon and Sir Davos are going south with the North Army.
Yeah.
And the Dothraki.
And then they're going to meet them. And I think the overall plan is basically just smoke them out. Like, we're just going to lay siege to this place. We're going to make it so the villagers get real pissed at Cersei, and that they definitely hate her and just want this to be over, and they'll take Daenerys as queen.
Yeah.
Which, smart fucking plan. Good job, guys.
It is. And then Euron Greyjoy shows up.
Oh, Euron Greyjoy.
So
what happened?
We lost a dragon.
We did. We're down to one dragon now.
We're down to one dragon. Where once there were three, now there was one. Rhaegar died.
I was shocked.
I was shocked. That was probably the most shocking death on the show.
Yeah.
Because Ned Stark, you kind of saw it coming. Like, they're not going to do this. Oh, okay, they might do this. Oh, okay, they're doing this. This one, it was like, holy shit, that just got him out of midair. Like, just out of nowhere, just took him out.
So I loved this scene for a lot of reasons. The reason I loved it the most was it now does a good job of making me feel like the army that Daenerys has is not ready for what's going to happen. And I think they need to be on the back foot for me to be okay with the stakes of what's going on now. Because at the end of last episode, I was in firm camp of, they beat the fucking Night King and all of the like ice zombies. Like, they can go handle a living person. It'll be fine. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, they might not get out of this. They're really, really, really underwhelmed or under like staff now. And I think the show needs to keep them there.
Yeah, I definitely think that Sansa brought up the good point of the armies need to rest and heal up. They're not ready for another fight.
Right. And friggin' Cersei even said it.
Yeah. And she definitely takes advantage of that and just pounces on them and hits them hard. Like, takes out a dragon, kidnaps Melisandre, and yeah. You froze up on me. Okay, there you are.
I'm back.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're down one dragon.
We're down one dragon.
Does anything else happen after that in the meeting, or between that and the meeting?
Just Varys and Tyrion talking about...
I actually really love this scene. I forgot I loved this scene. Because there's a point where Tyrion goes, what we're talking about is treason. And damn right it's treason. But,
I think that was at the castle.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
I was talking about on the boat, but yeah.
Oh, on the boat, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, yeah. Tyrion is really, like, treading the line of, like, she's our queen. We have to be loyal to her. And he is afraid of her. Like, he's worried about what's going to happen. And Varys is like, yeah, I am too. And that's why I'm going to go do this. Like, he has something in play.
Of course he does.
Not what I thought it would be, but I'm curious to see what happens with him next week.
Sorry, you super sped up. And
yeah,
I think we froze. I like that Varys said exactly what you said a couple of episodes ago on this. And you said that you think Jon's better qualified to be king because he doesn't want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very smart. The only difference between me and Varys is that I have it. Never mind.
All you need is a penis. That is a refrain in this episode.
Yes. I really thought Varys was going to die in this episode. I thought Daenerys was going to kill him. Like, when he calls her out. Yeah. He calls her out, and I really thought that she was just going to kill him right then and there.
I love that he called her out, though, and I love that he's sticking so firm to what he believes in. He's like, look, I told you I'd tell you if you're doing wrong. You're doing wrong. And he told Tyrion, like, my loyalty isn't to any person. My loyalty is to what I think is best for this place. And I love that.
And I love that. Also love that Tyrion calls him out, like, the realm. What is the realm? Like, that makes no sense. What is the realm to you?
Right. I mean, the thing is, he has flawed logic, but he definitely has logic behind what he's doing. Yeah. Like, his actions are coming from a place of what he thinks is very good, and I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, me too. Okay. So some stuff happened with Cersei this episode.
Yes.
So, well, their plan is to... Like, Daenerys is all for storming the castle now that she's attacked. But
oh yeah,
Cersei's plan is that we're just going to bring everyone inside the castle. That way, if she does that, she's killing innocent people. Which is
and
sinister
she really wants Daenerys to attack.
Yeah, she really does. And she, like, Tyrion and Varys are able to talk her down from actually attacking.
Yeah.
Like, at the last second. Like, she's about to, and then she's like, it's better for the people if I... Like, even her doing the right thing at this point isn't for her, like, just to do the right thing. It's just strategy.
Exactly.
Like
and that's all this is just rote strategy at this point.
Yeah, for everyone.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's why they even have the meeting. They set up this meeting because Daenerys needs to basically offer peace to Cersei and say, look, I gave you guys a fucking chance and she's the one that said no. So everything that happened now is after that is her fault, which that's the only other move you can make.
And then Cersei also tells Euron Greyjoy that the baby is his.
Yeah, that's right. Which I also forgot she had a baby for a couple episodes. I think we saw her drinking, and I just assume they know what we know.
Yeah, I'm still not completely convinced that the baby is real.
You still don't think there's a baby?
Yeah, I still don't think there's a baby. Are they filming like Fast and Furious 9 outside your...
They honestly have to be. I don't know what's going on out there. They're like, oh, Devon's recording a podcast. Better be assholes with our motorcycles now.
Yep. So now I'm waiting for Euron to see through Cersei. Like, see through her lie.
Really?
And then, like, just give up on her.
Do you think he will? This is his only shot of anything. And her speech to him this episode was really convincing.
I think once Jaime comes in, I think that his loyalty will change. I can see his loyalty changing by the end of this.
Do you really think Jaime would ever be well received, though? Because I think at this point, he's turned his back on her, and she's going to be so pissed.
No, I don't think he'll be well received, but he has a lot to say about that baby. So
that's a good point.
I think once Euron knows that she lied to him about that baby, then the tables will turn.
Do you think it's Jaime's baby?
It has to be.
I guess so.
Because she was talking about this last season when she had sex with Jaime.
That's a good point. That is a really good point.
She said, like he even asked, who are you going to say the father is? She's like, I'm going to tell him it's yours. Like, and then in this episode, she says, it's Euron's. Like, you've got to pay attention to the previously on Game of Thrones, because they give you those tidbits that you need to remember. Like, this
skipped right over that.
I think this is the first one from this season that didn't have to have anything to do with season 1. So
that's true, though.
But yeah, I think that's going to come back and bite her in the ass.
Agreed.
Metaphorically speaking. Yeah. So yeah, then they have that standoff at the edge of King's Landing.
Yeah. And I love that the Maester comes out and Tyrion, like, you basically tell he's like, we have nothing more to talk about. This isn't going to go anywhere. I'm just going to go talk to my sister.
Yeah. Again, that spoiler that I read on the internet, like, had me worried that they were going to kill Tyrion right then and there.
Yeah, see, I didn't hear that spoiler, but I also felt a little bit like, oh, this might just happen.
Yeah. I could see him giving that speech and then dying.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's not on the top of his game, because he has been drinking a lot. Like,
yeah,
I forget who called him on it. I think it was
Varys called him out on it.
Yeah. So, like, I'm worried about Tyrion. I hope he's doing okay. He might need to go to a meeting, but
yeah, but poor Tyrion. But
did you think that his speech got to Cersei at all, or did you know that he's just like nothing that he said mattered?
I think he's pushing buttons. I don't think that he ever thought that his speech would work. I think he's pushing buttons, because you saw her react when he was like, your children. And she's like, that's my button.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the only one he has left to push with her.
Okay. Like, that's the only way he has to manipulate her.
Exactly. In any way that he can. But she's doing her fair share of manipulating now, because all she's doing now is just, hey, let's piss Daenerys off as much as we can. Because the thing is, she's manipulative, but she's not a dumbass. Like, she's really smart.
Yeah. So, the Mountain kills Melisandre.
Oh, that was sad.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting her name wrong.
You're close. It's
Melisandre?
You might have added an L. It might be Melisandre. I don't know. I mean,
I always get her and the Red Woman confused.
Oh,
because their names are so close.
They are, yeah. And I think 2 episodes ago, I royally messed up her name. So whatever you're doing now is way better than my attempt 2 episodes ago. So good job.
Well, she dies, and then Grey Worm, like, just loses his shit. So now Cersei's at, like, Cersei was already at the top of everyone's kill list, but now she's, like, it underlined with red ink, like.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people. So
I'm really worried about how Daenerys is going to take this, because like the lady that was killed was mostly like her friend. Like,
yeah,
Tyrion like was interacting with her, but like didn't have too many stakes in that game. But like that was specifically aimed at her.
All of Daenerys's ties to the ones that she loves back east are dead now.
Yup.
All she has is Grey Worm and Tyrion, and Tyrion's an if iffy at that. So I heard an interesting theory today from same person who got me on board with last episode. Okay.
She goes, "What if we're watching Daenerys become the bad guy?" And I love it.
I think we are. Like, I really think we're going to see the Mad Queen by the end of this.
And you know what? Neat. I am completely okay with that. I don't think it's betraying her character. I don't think that I would hate the direction they're taking. I can see backlash if that happens, though, because people are so invested in that character always doing unequivocal good.
Yeah, and I think she's trying to do the good that she wants. She wants to do good. Like, there's no doubt that she wants to break the tyranny of Cersei and free, like, the people. But I think she's losing sight of how to do that the right way. Like, I
completely agree.
Storming the castle is not the way to do that, because you're going to kill all of those people now.
Right, you're going to lose whoever you wanted to lead. Like, sure, you'll have the throne, but like, then what?
Yeah. Like, I can't see an ending where this ends well for her.
It doesn't seem like it, because she has too many people. Like, basically, there are now 2 factions forming. There's like everybody that wants Jon to be king, which is like most of the people, and her and probably Tyrion and definitely Grey Worm, and that's it.
Yeah, and I don't like, the odds are so against them right now. Like, even if Jon and Dany were working together completely 100% on the same team, they're so up against the wall. Like, they have, like, Cersei has those giant bows and arrows. Like, there's nothing you can do about that.
Right. I mean, and they even said it. They're like, you have a dragon, but you have one, and we know that it has a weakness. And by the way, they're all on the fucking side of the castle now.
Yeah. And the only thing I can think of is maybe Varys has something up his sleeve, like some wildfire.
Oh, maybe.
But
that would be cool.
I read a theory this week, since we're pretty much summed up the episode now.
Do tell.
I read a theory this week that Varys has been working this whole time with, go back to season 1, the guy who sold Daenerys to Khal Drogo.
Really?
Yeah, because we haven't seen him since that season.
Yeah.
But like, when Varys and Tyrion came to Essos, like, they stayed at his place, but we never saw him. So like, the theory was that he's been working with that guy to buy out the Golden Company. And so that the Golden Company is taking orders from Cersei right now. Yeah. But they're actually taking orders from Varys and this other guy.
Oh.
So at some point they will turn on Cersei.
That would be super interesting. Because I would think that's cool.
And I don't think it's too much of a cop-out. And what struck me about this theory was a lot of the cast and crew were saying you should go back and revisit season 1. And that's about the only thing from season 1 that I kind of forgot about, was like that guy.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie had the line that was like, I pushed Bran out the window. And like, That was season 1. But like, there's no way that's like what the cast had been talking about.
No, that can't be, because everyone remembers that.
Right.
Like,
that made his character who his character is
I think
now.
everyone remembered that as soon as Jaime showed up in Winterfell and they looked at each other like, oh shit, that's right. We forgot about that from the very first episode. So where do you think this is going to go next week?
I don't know. And they're giving us nothing with this next week. Like,
yeah,
it was faces.
Yeah,
that was it.
No dialogue. Like, you got more dialogue in a next week on Mad Men teaser from AMC back when that show was on.
Yeah, but okay. I think next episode is going to be the biggest episode of the season. Is it the longest?
I think last week was the longest. I think they're all the same length as this week's from here on out.
Okay. I think it's going to be the most impactful episode of the season. That's why they're not showing anything. And I think that's why like the showrunners were like, Battle of Winterfell? That one. Pay attention to that one. Not 1, 2 later. Like, I think it's what it's going to be. I think that it was going to be more planning and strategizing. They would have shown that. But now I think they're there. Like, most of it's there. At the pace that they travel this country now, like, Jon Snow will be there in 2 hours. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah. I think I did read something this week about somebody from the cast saying episode 5 is a good one. Like, make sure you see episode 5. It might have been Emilia Clarke, but I could be wrong.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I know somebody said episode 5 is a big one. So do you really think this is going to be bigger than the finale?
Yes, I do think it's going to be bigger than the finale. I think it has to be. I think it is. There's a part of me that thinks that like all of the big pivotal things are going to happen next season or next episode. And then the last episode is going to be fallout from the things that happen next episode.
Okay. Tying up
loose
ends and putting
tying up loose ends and just like, okay, all of this stuff happened. What does it even mean?
Yeah. Like where does the show end? Who ends up on that throne?
And like, what does it mean for that person to end up on the throne? Like, whoever it is, like Daenerys is on the throne. Do people love it? Do people hate it? Like, what does that mean for all of these other characters that survived? Like, I think that has to be it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious to see what happens. There's one thing that we forgot to talk about.
What?
Sam and Gilly having a baby.
Oh, I love Sam over explaining the baby. Like, yeah, that was exactly what he would do.
There were a lot of goodbyes to Jon Snow this episode. So either he dies or something happens up north.
It reminded me a lot of when Ned left the North, and Sansa even directly called that out. And now I'm super worried for Jon Snow. Also, I'm mad he didn't pet Grey Wolf or Ghost. Just pet him. Like, why didn't he pet him?
Why didn't he take him with him? Something's going to happen in the north. I'm telling you.
You think so?
Something fishy's going on. Because I remembered this week also. Do you remember the Night King was turning those babies into walkers?
Oh yeah, that's right.
What we never got a payoff for that.
Oh shit. That's gonna be weird.
Yeah, so there's probably more Army of the Dead.
That's true.
And I feel like they wouldn't have had that opening that they had if there wasn't still a threat from up north of the wall.
The opening was interesting. It was a little bit different this time.
How so?
The Winterfell parts were a little bit more broken.
Yeah, Winterfell was broken. They had the pyres ready to light.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there's something that's going to happen up north, or something. Daenerys is going to take the throne at the end of next episode, and then the final episode is going to be Daenerys trying to take Winterfell.
Ooh. I don't know. Bran needs to do something.
That would be heartbreaking.
That would be. That'll be really hard to watch. That maybe that's the real Battle of Winterfell.
Maybe. I do like that somebody was like, Tyrion was like, Bran, you are the Lord of Winterfell. And Bran's like, no, I'm not. Stop it.
Yeah. I was really hoping that there'd be more to their conversation from like before the fire, like stuff that they talked about when he heard his story.
Yeah.
But I think there's still a little bit of time for us to get that. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. I think the direction that the episode and the show is going in is good. I've been reading some Facebook comments about people saying that, oh, this whole season's just been tanking. But I think there's no way to end something that everybody loves so much in a way that's going to satisfy everybody.
Nope. I've been saying that since 2010 when Lost ended.
Yeah,
you either like
yes,
it or
that's
you
exactly
don't. There's very rare times where a show that's so beloved gets the ending that everyone wants.
Right.
Like Friends is like an example of one thing that ended well, but that's Friends. It's a sitcom. There's no real stakes there. Like if they don't get their coffee, they can just go get coffee somewhere else. Like it's
right.
There's no stakes there, but something like this or Lost or Breaking Bad, like there's stakes there.
Right. And like people weren't happy with all of those endings. Yeah. And like I liked all of them, and I think that it was a good way to end it.
Yeah, I think Breaking Bad was liked for the most part, as far as I know. I
think you're right. I think I heard like when it first happened that people were upset that like it wasn't a definitive like did Heisenberg die or not.
Well, we'll find out in the sequel movie.
There's going to be a sequel movie?
Oh, you didn't hear about this? Yeah, they're making a movie.
You were telling me all sorts of cool shit today.
Yeah,
I don't know if we got the Frasier thing on recording of it.
This one is official. They are doing a Jesse Pinkman post Breaking Bad movie on AMC. Okay, you froze up. You froze up and you had like the biggest grin on your face. Like it.
Good. I love it. I mean, I kind of love that. Like, but didn't the show writer come out and say that Jesse Pinkman's going to be arrested within seconds of his ending of the show?
I don't know, but he's the one behind this movie, so he's the one doing this story. So,
that's awesome. I want to see that.
I think Bryan Cranston is like good to come back, like maybe in flashbacks or what not, but
in some capacity, but maybe not like I'm Walter White still alive.
Yeah, well, it'll be like an epilogue to that and Better Call Saul and.
Oh, it could tie everything up. That would be cool because Better Call Saul's only got one more season, right?
Evidently, yeah. That's what one of the actors has said. Like, this is the last season. So.
I'm going to be so sad.
Yeah, me too.
I love that universe. I just want to live there.
Yeah, you just want that blue meth.
You know I do. That's all I want.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Overall thoughts on the episode? Like it? Not like it?
I liked it. I mean, it felt like a placeholder in spots, like just kind of treading water for the first half of the episode, and then things started happening once everyone started going south, and then things actually went south. Like I like that they surprised us with the Greyjoy fleet coming in and attacking Daenerys. Like we needed that. Like we don't like it would have been too easy if they didn't get attacked.
Right.
So
I think the showrunners are ending it in a way that makes me feel like 6 episodes is enough. And before the season started, you could never have convinced me that.
Yeah. It's definitely gone that route.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's all I got. It was a good episode. Check it out.
Yeah. Tune in next week where we talk about the penultimate episode of Game of Thrones.
That's a weird sentence.
2 weeks from now, you and I are going to be talking about the finale.
What am I going to do with my life?
I don't know.
I should find a hobby or like go outside or something.
We'll just go back and start doing our regularly scheduled podcasts.
Oh, we could do that too. Yeah, we should do that. I like that.
Yeah.
I miss Ryan. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, me neither. You both kicked my ass at Movie League this week, though, so.
Wait, he did?
You both did.
Oh,
yeah,
yay.
By like $10 million. I
actually won something.
Yeah. But I did not, so.
That's okay. Right. You need to be like dethroned at least once. Like, weren't you like in like ahead every other week?
I really was.
Let me have one.
You can have this one. It won't happen. It won't happen again. So, all right. For You Have to Watch This podcast, I'm Alan.
And I'm Devon.
And Dracarys.